I'd like to demonstrate for you now the two-color stranded color work that I used in my Charlie hat pattern. When I do stranded, even though the gray might, you say, be the main color of the hat, I will carry that color in my right hand, and the gold I would put in my left hand, because the color that comes from your left hand is more dominant in the pattern. It pops more. So you would want it to pop more. So I would put that color in my left hand. And when I do two-color work, I pick from the left hand, I throw with the right hand. And I'll show you how I do that. What I'm doing right now is 3 stitches in gold, 3 stitches in gray. So doing that repeat does not require me to carry a yarn. So I just did 3 gold. Now I'm going to throw 3 gray. And notice when I'm doing this, I'm not pulling the yarn. You wouldn't want the stitches to pucker. As a matter of fact, what you do after you, every so often, is you kind of space them out, because you don't want that carry in the back to pucker your stitches. And so I am not pulling tightly on my stitches when I do them. I'm just doing them nice and gently so that they lay nice and flat. And that's fairly simple with when there are no floats. The next round requires a repeat of 5 gold stitches. Now in stranded color work, you have the option, you would never do more than 5 stitches without carrying the other color not being used behind it. When it's 5 stitches, you have the option to carry it or to not carry it. That's up to you. I'll show you both ways and you can see which way you prefer. Many times if it's a garment that you're making, you wouldn't want long floats, because when you're putting it on, you don't want your hand or any part of your fingers to get stuck in any of the floats. This is a hat, so, you know, again, I would leave it up to you to do it the way you would like to do it. I did carry the yarn when I had a 5-stitch run of one color, so I'll show you both ways. So here you go. The first stitch in the row is my gray, so I will throw the gray. The next thing I'm going to do is knit 5 golds. When I get to the 3rd stitch, I'm going to carry the gray behind it. So I go in to knit the stitch. I take my carry color, the gray, come from behind between the 2 needles. I take the color I want to knit with, again from behind. I take the gray and around to the back, and I pull through the gold. So what I've done is I've carried that gray yarn. I've captured it. And now that's 3 gold, and I need 2 more, so I'll do 2 more stitches. 1, 2. There you go. And you can see my pattern is starting to take shape. That's a loose stitch down there because that's where I joined the yarn. So now I have to do 1 gray, and again, it's 5 gold. So I would do 1, 2, on the 3rd stitch, I will go in. I'll take my carry color from behind, come between the needles, come from behind with my gold and lay it between my needles over that right-hand needle. Take the gray and go around to the back and pull the gold through. And again, I've carried the yarn. Finish my last 2 stitches of gold, and now I am ready for my gray. 1 gray stitch. Now back to 5 gold. 1, 2. On the 3rd stitch, the gray comes from behind between the needles. The gold comes from behind, lays over that right-hand needle. The gray comes back to the back, pull through, and there's your gold stitch. And finish the last 2. So this is what you have on the back. You see how the gray was carried. Let's see if I go a little closer so you can see how the gray was carried. Now, what I'll show you now is I'll do a gray, 1 gray stitch, and I'll knit my 5 gold. I will not carry on this. I'll just do 5. Again, I'm spacing out my yarn so I have no puckers. Don't forget to do that. and I'll knit one gray. Now again, the 5 gold. 1, 2, 3, not carrying the gray behind. 5. I'll do it one more time, and then we'll turn around and see what the other side looks like. And then you can make your choice as to which method you prefer. Let me just do that. Go again, I'm going to space it out. And there you go. So now let's turn it over and let's look and see what we have here. So you can see how you've got this run. That's a 5-stitch carry. What I did over here is on the 3rd stitch, I carried it, so it's not as long a float. Now it's a hat. It doesn't mean you can't do the 5-stitch, but for me, I prefer to carry it behind, so I don't have that long a float. You know, if you're doing it and you forget to carry it on the 3rd and you carry it on the 4th, it's not a big deal. And it's also not a big deal to back out a stitch and fix it. But that is how I do it. In this particular pattern, the longest float that you have, or the longest stitch, you know, the longest, I can't think of the correct word, but the longest stitch repeat is 5 stitches. So you don't have to worry about anything other than that. And as I said, on the 3, 3, 3, you can just proceed around the row and you don't have to carry anything. But on the 5 stitches, I might suggest trying the carry and seeing how that works for you. It really is simple. It is not difficult. And I hope you guys were helped by this video. That's it for now.